the excerpt for the two independent claims I put in the chat and how specific they are.
Oh, good.
I mean, if you set up to 29 seconds, you can get around that claim.
It's pretty, doesn't,
In fact, you might even be able to say a random time and get around that claim.
All right, we're live. So
two of the three claims of his, two of the three independent claims of his patent on the ticketing.
Good deal.
Thanks, Larry. We are now live on YouTube, so we're gonna get started. Let's see. Let me get. There we go. All right. Now, was the first Xerox copy ever made in a small New York apartment? Have we discovered the real inventor of Bitcoin? And if we have, is that really a good thing? And is there really a patent for tater tots? Well, these and other questions we're going to be answering and talking about tonight on a very great edition. We're back in our building edition of Inventor Friday. I'm Don Skaggs, your host, inventor, entrepreneur, chief cook, and bottle washer around here. And with me tonight, we have some really great guests. And the first one is going to be David Deinhardt. David, tell us who you are, what you're all about.
All right, my name is David Deinhardt. I'm the owner of Dabu Designs. I'm your favorite mold maker, caster, and fabricator. So we do a lot of small production runs for companies in the local area mostly.
Cool, good deal. And I completely mispronounced your name, even though I've known you for over a year.
Totally fine. Many people have known me longer.
And I'll probably keep doing it too. Just ask Leo. I'm like the worst at mispronouncing. I'll like get the mispronunciation and like stuck in my head, and then I'll just keep doing it. So might take 3 or 4 tries.
It's all good.
So also with me tonight is Bucky McQueen.
Hello there.
Bucky, tell us who you are and what you're all about.
I'm Bucky. I am married to my wife, Bobby Crabtree. So I'm considering myself the support staff to a 3PL or a custom 3PL, as I like to call it, based in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Our background stems decades in the apparel business or the fancy dress business. And for the last 5 or 6 years, we've been working on 3PL. It started out to accommodate the fancy dress industry, but has grown over the last couple of years into various areas.
Cool.
Glad to be here
Cool.
tonight.
Well, we're really glad to have you, and I'll be interested to talk to you about getting down into the details and into the weeds on that very soon tonight. Also with us tonight is Bobby Crabtree.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, tell us your side of the partnership here,
Well,
the story.
definitely we have a 3PL, but we also have bridal stores. Bucky is known throughout the country as the tuxedo guy. He's tuxedo wholesale. So he's been in tuxedos for a long time. Wow. And we also have a tux wholesale business. But I think today we're going to talk more about our 3PL.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Also with me tonight is Leo York.
Hey, yeah, I'm VP of the Inventors Network, and I'm a copywriter here in Lexington, focusing on commercial screenplays. So great to be here.
All right, good deal. And also pushing the buttons and making sure all the cameras get switched like they need to be is George Mulder. George.
Hey, George Mulder is here helping out tonight.
We're glad to have it because we really don't want me trying to switch the cameras. We used to do that. It wasn't pretty. So, all right. Well, also, I just wanted to kind of mention, if you are joining us on YouTube, and you are interested in kind of saying, well, who are these people and why are they on YouTube and what's this all about? Well, if you want to learn more about who we are and what we do, you can go to our website. It is kyinventors.org. And we have, you want to sign up, you can sign up for text, you can become a member, you can kind of see what we're up to. We have upcoming meetings. Oh, look, there's Inventor Friday. So you can join us for different things, but you definitely want to sign up, but definitely want to reach out to us. And we've got all kinds of really cool stuff. Here's where we were at the state fair just about a month ago, and a month or two ago now. And so you can learn more about us and what we have going on. You can check out the coolest, if you really want to support us, you can check out the coolest new swag in the Inventorverse, t-shirts, mugs, all kinds of really cool stuff that kind of say that you support inventors and entrepreneurs. And so check that out and get your favorite stuff. But just take a look at that and see what we have going on. So with that, I have another thing that we are looking for. If you're in Kentucky and you're in a rural area in Kentucky, you want to email us at info@kyinventors.org. We're launching a brand new program for rural people, rural innovators in Kentucky, and we want to hear from you. So again, just email us or just reach out to us via the website, and we'd love to talk to you about that.
To clarify, the definition of rural is a town of
50,000 people or less, or an area of 50,000 people or less. So yeah, you might think, well, I don't live in a rural, yeah, you do. So according to USDA, you do. So, all right, well, let's jump right into some inventions in history. So we're gonna kind of crank up the Wayback Machine here, and we're going to go back to October the 7th, 1975. At that time, patent number 3,909,854, which is kind of weird to see, because now I think they're up in like what, 9 million,
something like that.
A patent was granted to, and I'm going to butcher this name. David, you thought I butchered yours. I'm really going to butcher this one. It's Isidro. I knew Leo get it right.
No worries.
Isidro Martinez for a below-the-knee prosthetic. And let me share this so you can see what I see, because it is pretty cool. That is right here. So, and David, this might be of interest to you. So this was a prosthetic device that was actually right here. 1975, Mexican-American inventor Isidro, I got it right, Martinez invented a below-knee prosthetic to help improve gait problems associated with prosthetics at the time. You remember, this was 1975. So he invented a prosthetic below the knee to improve gait. He had a design, the design had a high center mass and was lightweight to reduce friction and pressure and allow for acceleration and deceleration. His design was light and had a high center of mass. Well, wait, they just said the same thing over again. The UniKI wrote this. It's like the same thing.
Sure. See it more and more.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
That could very well be. So this is it's actually probably a better little write-up on him. He had an idea to prove it in design for the below-the-knee prosthesis that was used at the time. Rather than replicate the current designs, which themselves tried to replicate the natural movement of organic limbs, Martinez revolutionized the prosthetic field by creating prosthesis better at giving the wearer control of acceleration and deceleration while simultaneously reducing pressure and friction to the wearer. Now, this is why I thought was really interesting. The concept is still used today, so it wasn't just like a novel thing. It was actually something that, you know, it caught on, and they're like, hey, this is much better than what came before. This is actually see if I can blow this up or make this look a little more so you can see it. There it is. So, and this is what puzzled me, and I said it was a prosthetic, but it looks to me almost like it's a knee replacement.
Yeah,
Because I see, you know, I see some stuff going into bone in both sides.
I think each of those are the digits. So if you think about it, I mean, yeah, knuckles and knees aren't that different, except there's a meniscus in your knee. I guess, I don't know.
I mean, I've seen, you know, they look a lot, probably, you know, this was
Or
75,
maybe it is
so.
wrist, I don't know for sure. That is so tricky.
Oh, that's definitely a knee.
Oh,
it's a knee.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a knee.
that's
I had my
absolutely
knee
a
done. That looks just like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
So your knee replacement is based on
On that,
this
yeah.
guy's
75.
invention.
Huh.
That was just totally,
That is trippy.
I'm surprised I can't get this.
It's so-
There was another version of this.
It kind of reminds me of how in the Olympics, you know, they actually, like, people with their legs amputated can't compete against people with natural legs now. Because instead of designing like artificial styled legs modeled after organic legs, they've got those cool blade looking things. And it's actually more efficient because it doesn't require oxygenated blood going to it. So it actually improves your athleticism. You know?
So they are outperforming people with
With
two
organic
legs.
Yeah,
Wow.
trippy.
And that's due to the innovation on the prosthetics
And the
themselves.
fact that they're actually not trying to reverse engineer what we already have, but just, you know, make something that works for the sake of itself, I guess. Like
Wow.
what Martinez did.
Yeah, yeah. That is amazing. Yeah, I had one more little thing to show on this. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. So, no, wait, no, wrong one, sorry. I'm still on this. Okay, well, thought I had one more thing to show on this. But anyway, he was an amputee himself. So what do you think that helped him to design this, invent this, come up with this? I
Oh,
think that gave him an advantage.
I'd say so, because, you know, necessity is the mother of invention, right?
That's
So
right.
he probably needed it.
Yeah,
Probably made his life better and lots of other people's.
so you think maybe he understood the problem a little, he was closer to the problem, so he understood it a little more?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting. Interesting. What do you think, Leo?
100%, like, you know, that's usually how it goes. Very rarely do you see somebody come up with an idea that they're removed from, and in this case, you know, he had to have simultaneously experience, you know, direct firsthand experience, and also, I'm sure he encountered everyday problems that, you know, he saw a solution for in a lot of regards to that, so, yeah, I'm always a little, and maybe I'm being cynical, I'm always a little skeptical when somebody makes something for a completely remote market, where it's like, you know, some burly dude making, you know, feminine products or something like that. I hope you have a lot of sisters or a real close to your wife or something. So, yeah.
Big burly guy with a beard making cosmetics.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
Probably, yeah, you gotta be closer. And that's funny, I had a barber one, it was a lady, barber. And, she knew what I did, and so she would always like, say, hey, Don, I got this really cool new idea for this. And I'd have to, you know, you hate to break somebody's heart, but I'm like pulling it up on Amazon and saying, sorry, this already exists. But, you know, don't, you know, and, you know, she kept coming up with these different things. And finally, at one point I said, you know, you're always coming up with great ideas, but come up with something that's close to what you know. Come up, you know, invent where you live. Sometimes you can invent the best, and she did. She actually came up with something that she used and she was also a beautician, so she used something in the beautician world, and it like really saved time and energy and money. And so it was a really cool idea. So sometimes it's like right in front of you, just where you live sometimes, you think. What do you guys think?
Oh, you got to stay in your wheelhouse. I don't think you can get outside of that wheelhouse and really understand. I agree completely with what Leo said.
It would be interesting to know if this Mr. Martinez has a medical background, and if he did, is it in orthopedics? Because if he didn't, and his invention was driven out of pure necessity and a pure desire to have something better that would help him with his life, then that taps up the true entrepreneurial spirit and or the inventor's drive. Going back to what we were talking about prior to the show on persistence. So if he does not have an orthopedic background, which I'll probably look it up tomorrow and see,
Yeah,
then it had to be the epitome of persistence.
yeah. I mean, it's like, okay, this doesn't work for me. This doesn't work for me. This doesn't work. Oh, look, I got some.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, cool. All right, well, let's move on to the next item. Let's see, the next one here, this is an interesting one. But hey, we've been off for 3 months. Well, we've not been in the studio in 3 months, so everything's a little funkier than normal. Now let's go back to 1938, October 22nd, Chester Carlson invents and produces the very first Xerox copy in his kitchen apartment. Now, this is a really, really good story. Now I can find it over here. So, all right. So this guy is a physicist, Chester Carlson, and he developed. I don't think his. Oh yeah, okay. This guy, yeah, this is a great story. So this guy was fascinated with graphic arts and chemistry. Carlson didn't let his humble roots, because he had a hard upbringing. It didn't let him deter him from finishing high school and working his way to a junior college and earning a degree in chemistry. And then graduating 2 years later with a degree in physics. He entered the job market in the midst of the Depression, applying to 82 firms before landing a job as a research engineer at Bell Telephone Laboratories. And then, see, it goes on, but there's another part here I really wanted to show you. He began conducting experiments in the kitchen of his apartment in Queens, eventually developing the fundamental principles of what he called electrophotography, later known as xerography. His theory was that if the image of an original photograph or document were projected onto a conductive surface, current would only flow into the areas that light hit upon, and not the areas of the darkness. So it would actually print, and could get dry particles to stick to a charged plate. So we called it so you can make dry reproduction work. So they and the funny thing is, this had really never been done before. This was kind of a very, very new thing. The first Xerox copy was made on October 22nd, 1938. The 2 men prepared a sulfur coating on a zinc plate, and printed the notation in India ink on a glass microscope slide, 11-22-38 Astoria, which was his apartment complex thing. They were using handkerchiefs and pieces of glass and all this stuff. And then he had trouble. He shopped his invention around for several years, trying to find a company to develop it into a useful product, and was turned down by more than 20 companies. This kind of goes back to the whole persistence thing, really. So finally in 1944, the Tell Memorial Institute, I actually know these folks. I used to sell products to them. Nonprofit research organization, signed a royalty agreement with Carlson to begin develop the process. And then it later became to know as Xerox. So this was a real interesting thing. This is his actual patent here. I thought this was an interesting version of it. It's see, that's the text of it. Let's see if we can get this to show a little more. Yeah, there we go. So this is really I think it's just as patent drawing. It's funny, we were having a conversation earlier about patent drawings, trying to get this to blow up where I can see it all. No, I'm gonna go up and down again. Oh, there we go. There we go. So, I mean, he filed it. It was awarded in October 42. Filed it in 39. So now you gotta remember this was the 30s, but still the illustrations, it's not a whole lot different than they are today, really. Not strangely different, but I mean, he just kind of walked through the whole process there. If we've got another one. Yeah, here we go. Oh, that's the same one.
Yeah.
So
Very
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I think it's interesting that, they're using sulfur, crystalline sulfur, because it's good at conducting light, which is weird to say, conducting light, like photo conduction.
Right.
But they were doing that in the kitchen because they needed to melt it, so they were doing that over the stove. First of all, talk about bootstrapping.
Yeah.
Second of all, talk about horrible smell. Like, that kitchen had to have been like brimstone kitchen, like you're melting sulfur. So, yeah.
And this was before OSHA.
Yeah, I would have hated to have been his neighbors, yeah.
It's the same type process used in the original blueprinting. Blueprinting used ammonia.
Oh,
Interesting. Take the original drawing, which was on, that as recent as the 70s, if you will, the original drawing was the graphite, and then take that and put it on top of the blueprint paper, and then run it through the blueprint machine, which is actually introduces ammonia, and then on the other end you put the original in the safe archive. Drawing looks like a huge chest of drawers. You've never seen it. Oh wow! And then the blueprint goes to the work site or the job site or wherever it needs to go.
so ammonia and sulfur, so basically making copies always smells, apparently. Yeah.
I'm just surprised that it was so early. I had no idea it was like 38? I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
And how many people probably, because he had to shop it around 20 companies before anybody'd even pay attention, because they were probably thinking, okay, this won't work. This is crazy.
Well, they couldn't see, I'm sure they could not see the future of it. And
Monetize the
yeah,
base.
exactly. How are we going to make money doing this?
Exactly.
It's neat. It looks great, but we have to make money.
What's your take on it, David?
Well, he had to learn and comprehend quite a few different technologies, right? Lighting, optics, the
Chemistry.
yeah, everything. So that it's kind of amazing how somebody takes on so many challenges and figures out how to make it work.
Yeah, I would have assumed this was like a team kind of thing, not some dude over stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And not 1938.
Yeah, two guys in a kitchen
Yeah.
in Queens in 1938. And they're like, we're going to make copies.
And then somebody's going, and why? Why do you want to do this?
Oh, gosh. So, yeah, I mean, he had so many different obstacles too, I mean, trying to get through this and do it, and then just have he was in the depression, the depression. And I kind of think that even in the worst adversity situation, okay, you're in the middle of depression, but you're gonna come up with something to revolutionize something. And sometimes I almost wonder if there's more innovation that happens in hard times than in good times.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
very
think
much,
so too.
yeah.
I wonder if he was actually making it, working for AT&T. If that project had anything to do with AT&T,
Yeah,
you know, they don't
Bell
mention,
Labs.
they didn't mention it. from what it said.
you wonder what he learned that might have inspired him.
Yeah.
too. Yeah, yeah, they didn't really say too much about.
It sounds like if you'd think he would have gone to them first, and it sounds like they really passed on something that ended up being the future. So,
Yeah, I wonder if he was, if they were the first one of the 20 companies that just said, we'll take a pass. So 20 no's and a yes. Actually, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's see, let's move on to another little item here. So October 21st, 1958, tater tots become a registered trademark. So, let me pull this up so you can see it. So tater tots, also known as baby taters and potato gems. I've never heard those before. Are grated potatoes formed in small cylinders and deep fried, often served as a side dish. So the name tater tot is a registered trademark of the American Frozen Food Company, or RITA, but is often used as a generic term. Ore-Ida also markets a coin-shaped version called Crispy Crowns, which I've also never heard of.
Yeah.
So, tater tots must be the winner. So they were invented in 1953, but I could not find anything that said it was patented. So it's very, very, very interesting about that. And actually, I've got, if I can, let me stop the share just a second and let me reshare this with something Leo said I needed to do, which was optimize the video sharing. And let me move over here because there's a little video I want to play about this.
Our goal is to educate the entire population that those good old tater tots were born right here in Ontario, Oregon.
Those little tater tot delights were invented here in Ontario, Oregon in 1952 by two family members who started Ore-Ida Foods.
It really came out of an answer for what to do with all the stuff left over after the French fry. The best parts of the potato go in the French fry to give us the best looking product. But when you cut a potato into those French fries, you've got some pieces left over. Originally, when French fries were being made, those were just being discarded. A lot of them went to feedlots. But the Griggs brothers came up with the idea, well, what if we can do something better with that stuff? They found that if they shredded those up and formed them and had a little bit of flavoring and deep fried them, they made a pretty tasty treat.
They drilled holes in this plywood sheet, and they would take this almost like a slurry mix, and then they would push it through the holes in the plywood, and you had this small little tater tot.
Some folks call it the holy board, and it's actually on the wall out here. This plant has come from that long history. So Simplot has been involved the last 2 years as we've owned this facility, and Ore-Ida is a partner. They're the customer for Simplot. So we have these large former heads, and they take that shredded product and they press it into a form, very much like the holy board, just larger and mechanical now, and then deep fried, frozen, and packaged. That's a word unique to the Ore-Ida product. The Ore-Ida brand copyrights the tater tot thing. Other brands may make products that resemble tater tots, but if you're eating a tater tot, it's from Ore-Ida, and more likely than not, it was made in this factory. It's cool to see that brand name Ore-Ida, which is Oregon and Idaho, and know that it's a local factory with Oregon and Idaho ties, and that's where the potatoes are grown that are served all over the country. This plant does about 560 million pounds of product a year, and about 160 million of that will be tater tots. So it's definitely not just the fallout from the French fry anymore.
The tater tots are an integral part of the history of this community. I think the initial idea was tossed out almost in jest. After all, Ontario is the birthplace of tater tots. We should consider doing a tater tot festival.
Our food vendors, they did different tater tot dishes. We will have a car show, live music. I hope to see it be statewide so that people over there who get the Oregonian go, hey, we can't plan anything that third week of September. We've got to go to Ontario because it's the Tater Tot Festival.
Well, now I just want to go to the Tater Tot Festival.
I want tater tots. I like
All right. Okay, who's eating tater tots after this? That's what I want to know. We'll put a survey out on YouTube.
Do you think the patent thing has something to do with the potato?
That, I've wondered about that.
It's tough to patent anything food related unless it's mechanical. Like they could technically maybe patent the process, but it'd be pretty hard.
Yeah, I wonder if I think they could have. I don't know why they decided not to. I will say this, because I'm always making this analogy about Levi's jeans. Levi had a patent and Levi had a trademark. Their patent ran out 20 years after they invented it in 18 whatever. But their trademark still there, still have it, still own it, still have the rights to it. So the patent is great. You've got it 20 years and then it's over, then it's public domain. But if you got a trademark, you can just keep renewing that thing. And it's funny that you mentioned that. Let's see if we can find this. I think I've got this right here. Yes. Trademarkia. Let's see if you can find out about trademarks. And I don't think they have all the history here, but you can go back at least to 1978. Which was, I guess their first renewal that makes sense, 20 years, October 21st, 1978, from 1958, when they first got it. So all these years, they just kept renewing it, and the tater tots are no longer a cattle feed waste product. So, that just boggles my mind, is they take something that was essentially waste product, and now they've made something that's actually outselling a lot of other stuff.
That happens sometimes. That's what happened with protein powder. Originally whey, you couldn't get rid of it. It was Little Miss Muffet with leader curds and whey, and that was about it. But it was something you fed the cows. And I want to say the 60s or 70s, like kind of when the whole pump and iron generation came out, they realized like this is really, really protein dense. If we could dehydrate it and flavor it, we could make whey powder and people could use it to build muscle. And now it's this very expensive thing by comparison, and it used to literally be fed to animals.
Wow.
Weird.
That is wild.
Now,
Now,
wasn't that the case with gasoline too?
yeah.
That was the product that they didn't know what to do with.
Yeah. What do we do with this stuff? It's real
And then they
volatile.
They wound up changing the whole world to be dependent on
Yeah.
it by forcing out alcohol engines and all that.
Oh, yeah.
That was in the film when we did the Inventors, the people who built America.
Yeah. Men who built America. I remember that. Actually, one other thing, when you said, why didn't they patent it? Which was my first question was, at least file something, so you got something. So there's actually a patent out there, and it's a recent patent. Let's see, 2017. Ready to eat, shelf-stable tater tot type snack food. So apparently, whoever this is, Continental Mills, that name sounds familiar, but you don't know. I don't know who they are. Ready to eat, shelf-stable tater tot snack made from one or more of the following food products. They got a lot of different things they can make it out of there. Tater tot snack food does not require cooking or warming prior to consumption. So this is basically a snack food that you just see next to the potato chips. So somebody did try it. And this kind of begs the whole other point, I think, is that it's really you can take something that already exists and add a new novel thing on top of it, and all of a sudden it becomes, it's patentable. It's like, oh yeah, well, we'll make a tater tot, but we'll make it so you don't have to keep it frozen. And they got a patent for it. But yeah,
Do y'all have any thoughts on that?
I wonder, is it those air pop things, you know, they,
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
those are-
they're, I'm not sure what they call them. I don't,
Yeah, they're good. They're not, I prefer regular potato chips because there's kind of a blandness to them, but texturally, they're pretty good.
I don't like them.
too much air
I don't know.
or?
I don't like the texture of them, but I just wonder if that's what,
It's
is that
kinda
what
like-
this is? I
It's
don't
kinda
know.
like styrofoam. but
Right,
like,
right.
For some
Yeah.
reason, it's enjoyable,
Yeah,
Styrofoam with salt and oil and
yeah.
all that good stuff.
but it's in a bag.
Yeah.
So that could be what this is. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. I wonder why they called it tater tot types. Maybe it was just. You'd almost think they'd get an infringement of some kind.
Yeah,
just
that is
over
peculiar
using the
language.
name tater tot in the patent.
Yeah,
I wonder how they got away with that.
yeah.
That's interesting.
You know, it seems like somebody at work had a bag and they were just called tots.
Uh,
Do you remember that? I think it was just tots, Tots.
I wonder how they got around that one.
yeah.
Cause, I mean, you saw some, they were saying, well, there was like, what do they call them? Tater puffs and
Yeah.
tater, they had like it was real quick on the screen when on the video, they showed all these competitors and they said, well, those aren't.
It's kind of like Kleenex and Coke, you know, it's unfortunately, a lot of companies lose sleep over brand dilution. Like whenever a branded term, a trademark term becomes common parlance for that thing, like it sounds like to the average person, like, oh, well, that's a real honor. You know, everybody just called regular soda pop or Coke. And it's like, no, Coca-Cola doesn't like that.
No.
They want you to specifically associate them with our product. So
Yeah.
it could be some of that. It's just like we use it so often, it's been diluted.
And I think you can lose
You
your
can.
trademark.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
If it gets diluted enough, Kleenex really does not like the fact that tissues are called Kleenexes.
yeah, I want to say that became common use and they lost their, I don't know, we'd have to look that up. Somebody probably look it up and put it in the chat, but
Sounds good.
but there's a lot of them like that, but because there's a lot of people that lose that, I wonder why Tater Tots still has those. Because it's current,
Yeah.
so far they're sliding through. They're probably not liking that I'm mentioning that.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. So we'll watch the Tater Tot saga as it goes on. So, all right, let's move on to this was kind of an interesting news item that I didn't know. HBO is about to launch a documentary. Maybe they've already launched it. I don't know. This was recent. Let me share this so you can see it. So HBO documentary says it has uncovered Bitcoin inventor Satoshi Nakamoto's true identity. So, Leo, have you heard about this yet?
I didn't know it was like a
Documentary?
Well, no, I thought that Satoshi Nakamoto was just a legit dude.
Wow.
I didn't know that he was, yeah, I'm looking him up right now just because I thought he was, so is this like a alias or something? It is.
Here it is. Okay, good. I thought they were gonna kick me out and not let me, thought they were gonna give me a paywall on this. So the true identity of the person behind the alias Satoshi Nakamoto, did I get it right, Leo?
Yep.
All right, is really a 39-year-old Canadian crypto developer called Peter Todd, according to a controversial new documentary premiered on HBO, whose claims are disputed by Todd himself. This is where it gets interesting. So the new film, Money Electric, Bitcoin Mystery, reported says Todd is the true inventor of the world's first cryptocurrency and the real person behind the synonym, whose name I'm not going to try to mispronounce again. So Todd himself was quick to dispute the new documentary's claims. The statement sent to MarketWatch, Todd hit out at HBO's films central claim while stating Cullen is wrong. I am not Satoshi. The truth is Cullen is grasping for straws. So I thought it was really interesting because there is this other article that came out that says Man ID'd as Bitcoin inventor and new documentary rips film after fleeing his home for safety. And they're telling about it's making waves. It uncovered the identity of the mysterious figure. Bitcoin man supposedly invented cryptocurrency, insists the film got it wrong, which is kind of like the old one. But I mean, flee your home. And I didn't think about this, but
Yeah, way too many crypto makers end up mysteriously dying, like a lot of them. Yeah, there was
Interesting.
one not too long ago. I think it was Ethereum. Like, yeah, he just washed up on the beach he was staying at. It
Really?
happens a lot.
the
Yeah.
inventor of Ethereum.
I want to say Ethereum, at least one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, like, a lot of crypto people vanish or die under really shady circumstances.
I could see them vanishing just because they don't want to let anybody know where they are.
Yeah, that too.
I would want what.
Unfortunately, usually they do turn up. But
Yeah. Oh
so-
well. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's not good.
Uh,
But yeah. This guy's like. I mean, let's say he really isn't the inventor of Bitcoin. Which number one, HBO would have a whole lot of egg on
yeah,
their face.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
I wonder if this. I guess it's out already. I won't have to see it now.
Yeah, I looked up a few things, and it turns out one of the things that they found suspicious is they were looking at, the things that this person posts, and they use a lot of like verbiage that you associate with England and Australia and Canada. So that kind of makes sense, like maths instead of math, for example. Bloody, as an adjective, for something that's not covered in blood, just, bloody hard kind of day. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense that he would be Canadian or British, and in this case, yeah. Well, I hope he's doing okay.
I hope he's hiding in a real secure
What do you
place.
guys think on
Yeah,
about
yeah, you think we really need to know who this person is?
I didn't realize they were showing up dead.
that?
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't have a
That's news to
clue.
me.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of rich crypto bros are dying. Yeah.
I wonder
Who
if,
knew?
yeah, that is strange.
What's your take on it, David?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that considering how popular Bitcoin
It's
is,
the most expensive crypto, yeah.
I don't know, it would be nice to know who the originator of it was. See if there were any, if everything's on the up and up, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
That's
there could
a
be
good point.
backdoors, there could be something that they could get into,
That's an interesting
cash some
point.
of it out for themselves or
Yeah,
whatnot.
you wonder if there is some there has to be. I almost think that.
Yeah, we've already seen that. What's that young kid's name? I say young kid, but to me, it was that this serving some.
Sam Bankman-Fried. or
Yes.
whatever.
Sam
Oh,
Bankman.
yeah.
Yeah, he's serving time. I think he
Yeah,
got life.
I think he's
Yeah.
serving time now, I think.
Life?
Life.
I think he's actually, I may be misremembering this, but I think he's like on the same cell block or even cellmates with P. Diddy. I
Oh,
Really?
wow.
swear. I
He's
swear.
a modern day, he's in today's Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Bernie Madoff still alive?
No, he died.
Did he die?
He died in prison. Is Diddy eating now?
I'm sorry.
Is Diddy eating now?
Oh, I
he's-
don't know,
He
actually.
stopped eating
Yeah.
for.
I didn't even hear he stopped eating.
He stopped
Really?
eating. I get it. Yeah.
Wow,
Oh, man.
wow. Well, I don't know. Let's say this is the guy. I wouldn't want a target on my back
Yeah.
just from, how many people are thinking, oh, let's go break into his house and kidnap him for ransom? I mean, that's
I'd be more
just
worried
kinda
about
scary.
any government on earth saying this is competing with our fiat currency.
Well, there's that.
So, yeah,
Yeah. Oh. So you think HBO will be in hot water if it finds out that he's really not?
Oh, they've got enough money. They'll pay their way out of it.
There'll be some big
Yeah.
out of court settlement.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can definitely see that.
They'll go on their Robin Hood account, put it all back in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. All right, well, let's look at another one here. This one is a new gel, converts motion into energy. And this is the point where I'm supposed to share my screen. Oh. So this is a new game-changing gel that can convert motion into energy. Japanese scientists have created an electric gel that can revolutionize the future of electronics. The gel can be combined with highly flexible electrodes to create a wearable sensor that is capable of picking up low-frequency vibrations like everyday human motion and then converting it into energy.
Need some of
The
that.
hope is they will allow the new gel to join various efforts to create novel technologies that are flexible and environmentally sustainable. Research also says that the gel's elastic storage modulus was found to be around 40 million times that of liquids similar to it. Further, it can be improved with a simple fixation and a strong seal. Well, I can see that. What do we think? Is this going to have real practical applications?
Well, yeah, I mean, the solar panel and calculators has been in there for years. And it kind of
Yeah.
revolutionized that.
Yeah.
This, in watches or in cell phones, could just make them last forever.
So instead of keeping my calculator going with the light in my office,
Yeah,
I can just like move my arm and just,
carry the calculator in your pocket,
Yeah.
like your daily walking, charge it up.
yeah.
If it's literally like shock absorption type of energy, I can imagine this being like sidewalks in cities and keeping the power in that neighborhood on.
Oh,
Or,
wouldn't that be cool?
yeah, or even like plates under the road, now.
Oh.
Vibration.
Yeah.
Not the wearable route, but the
Power
surrounding
grid,
stuff
yeah.
around.
I mean, it'd take quite a bit of traffic, but I mean, Lexington could do.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, rush hour today,
Yeah,
would be pretty, pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Yes, it's safer and more compact
Yeah.
than windmills. You don't have moving parts. Everything's just,
it's out of the way, it's under your feet.
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. What do you guys think about that?
Sounds cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like there's a lot of applications that could come from this. Exactly. Again, I hadn't heard anything about it, but
Yeah.
it's pretty, I think it's pretty neat.
I think you could see it going to the medical field for sure, think about
Oh, yeah, like
over
pacemakers. and
over the
things.
years and years that we've, people have used, brass jewelry bracelets, for instance, for arthritis or any ailment like that. It could,
Also hospitals, because of grid issues and natural disasters, it could be a means for them to have their own sustainable use of energy. So if something like that does happen, they're gonna have a method of keeping some of those important machines going.
Yeah, no generators, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
So all you doctors and nurses on lunch break, you want to run around this track and generate some electricity.
Yeah.
So what if you use your clothes to have the generating electricity into your exoskeleton,
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
a mech? So
Sci-fi.
now you move this, well, the electricity comes out of there and tells those motors, whatever's in there,
Yeah.
okay, move. As opposed to being, so your brain's telling your arm
Yeah.
just to move it a little bit, but that's sending electricity.
Yeah, you went
into
full
this-
Ghost in the Shell with this. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, the market, I could see the market accepting it, but I think this is where, because you notice the first part of this whole article, it said Japanese scientists. And I'm thinking, okay, bunch of guys in a lab, And they'll, oh, this is really cool. What do we do with it now? And it's usually the entrepreneur or innovator entrepreneur that says, you know what, I want to take this. We need to make jackets out of these. We need to make armbands. We need to make sidewalks out of these, like we always say. So yeah, I can definitely see, but I think the real, I've seen so much innovation, and they'll get big grants for these innovations. They'll get all this research stuff done, and then it'll just sit. It was like a diorama project almost sometimes, because it's just sitting there, and it's like, well, okay, that was cool, but nobody picks it up. And I think there's so much opportunity just sitting around. SBIR, the Small Business Innovation Research grants that have gone to their fruition. The university team finished their work with it, and now they're on to the next thing, and it just kind of sits. But they're all sitting there, and there's tons of opportunity, I think, for entrepreneurs with innovative ideas to just take that and go with it.
Yeah, as long as it's cost effective to mass produce, right? I mean, that's a big factor.
It is.
In a lab environment, they may be able to produce it in small quantities and say, yeah, the proof of concept works, but the materials are too expensive.
That always reminds me of stainless steel and the Carnegie. You've heard the Carnegie story?
I haven't heard that.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite stories. Carnegie needed to build this bridge, and it had to be stronger than just wood. What they were building bridges at the time, and he said, we need to make it out of something else. We could make it out of steel. Steel, the only thing that's going to hold it is stainless steel. Well, the only thing they could afford to produce the time out of stainless steel was like spoons and knives and forks, and it was just little stuff. It was the graphene of the 19th century, is what I think of it as. So they're only producing this in small amounts. So he finds this guy named Bessemer out in Europe, and that has this process of mass producing stainless steel. And that was how he built his bridge. And then from that came skyscrapers, and it just changed everything. But it wasn't the one that came up with it. It was the guy that said, I'm going to take this and use it for this big process.
Right.
So
That's
that's,
cool.
but yeah, but the real innovator is the one that, okay, let's figure out a way to do this at scale.
Right.
And that's where Bessemer actually was good too, because nobody cracked that code. And I always think the same thing's true about graphene. There's, they're making little stuff out of it. They're doing little projects, and it's really high priced right now.
Right.
Whoever can make this stuff in bulk, they're going to be the real winners.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So any of you out here that know how to do that, contact us. So anyway, all right. Now, last one here, news item is a tree in India. Or an Indian tree, it's actually not just in India anymore, is actually may replace, some people think, petroleum. It's a biofuel. And actually, I've got a really cool video on this.
This is what used to be a grapefruit and orange grove prior to the advent of greening, which destroyed it. And these are Pangamia trees, which are on their 5th year. They're just probably the first year that they're going to produce. Uses for the Pangamia tree are primarily as a biofuel oil crop. It's about 30% of the weight of the bean is oil. It has one of the most dense energy per pound of refined oil that you can have. That's very important when you're flying. The more power you've got, the further you can go on the same weight. So in an airplane, that's a big deal. Also, there's really no good carbon substitute for petroleum that you have to burn to power a jet. Pangamia could be that. It'd be a plant-based oil that can do that. The 65 or 70% that's left over is primarily very high quality protein that we get through the rest of the chemistry, and research on it will be used in making baking flour, cooking. It makes great graham crackers. We've done a lot with those already. But a whole variety of things, almost any protein, it's an excellent substitute. We hope that we can transform the whole biofuel industry, that this will end up being the platform that is one of the dominant sources of oil for biofuels in the future, as well as a substitute for soybean protein or yellow pea, which are a couple of the things that are now used for protein alternatives if you don't want your protein to come from meat.
Pretty neat.
Plant, baby, plant.
Oh, so, yeah, this is this ancient tree from India is now thriving and grows. I had no idea they were growing these in Florida. Could provide the nation with renewable energy. So it's very interesting just to see what they're doing. And I'm not too sure. I didn't know a lot of the orange groves had kind of gone away from something called greening.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that,
I
Leo?
don't know the exact circumstances around it, but it's some kind of blight, I think, where the fruits never like fully develop like all the way, so they stay green. If I remember right.
Interesting.
I remember last time I was in Florida, they were talking about that though, like the orange
Greening.
industry's been hurt bad, yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
So
Well-
weird. You know, we ought to talk to Kevin about Sunham, because, you know, they're in the same family, so.
Oh, really?
Not oranges,
Oh,
this
this tree?
this tree, yeah.
Wonder if you could grow it in Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I imagine it's pretty tropical, but maybe,
Yeah.
maybe he could make it work.
Yeah.
Mm.
We know a guy. So what do you think? You think they can make this successful? There's a lot of things you can make with this stuff, and fuel's one of them, definitely.
I mean, the fact that you can make a biofuel and then the remainder of it can be food.
Well, you gotta
Seems like a
process the
win-win, right?
crap out of it, because it's like basically castor beans, so I don't know what they do to make
Is
it.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like you can just pick it and eat it.
Well,
Boil it
right,
in
right.
stew,
They said
yeah.
a flour, so.
Yeah, well,
I
the
mean-
beans, like if you ate them, you puke your guts out.
Oh.
Yeah,
So don't eat these.
Yeah.
they must be doing something to make it work though.
Well, then maybe it's not such a good food. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I know he said they kept saying refined oil, so I wonder if there's,
Gotta be something. I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine even castor beans, you could probably make food out of if you work hard enough. Yeah.
true. What do you guys think? Any,
Well, I was thinking during the video, can you eat these? Obviously,
Not fresh or-
obviously Leo now knows that you cannot eat those.
so you could, but you wouldn't want.
Yeah, you do not want to eat those beans. They have to put something on the package. Don't eat
not
the
eat-
fuel or whatever.
Yeah.
But he said that he would have been real successful with graham crackers.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
So-
So they're doing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, they're doing something to make them edible.
yeah.
So. I
But if
wonder-
they can power your car
Yeah,
or power your house, why do we want to eat them?
Well,
Yeah,
oh, okay,
true.
I think I just figured it out. Okay, so if it's like castor beans and they're related, all the toxic stuff's in the oil makes good fuel, you get rid of the oil, the fibrous bits and the protein are left and they're probably mostly safe.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they do that, but that's probably. the
That's
deal.
cool.
It's kind of like the tater tot.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna make tater
Yeah,
tots.
it's the same thing. It's what's
Yeah,
left
I
over
didn't
is the
think
tater
about
tot.
that.
Yeah.
I guess every product has a tater tot.
I guess.
Somewhere. I like that. That's really cool. Yeah, I think it could be real successful. I remember there used to be something they bandied about for a long time called the popcorn trees. Anybody ever heard of that? And it was they were like these little seeds. And I always remember this demonstration, this will reminded me of it, was he poked a little hole in the side of this tiny little round seed and lit it with a lighter, and it blew out like a jet. Because it was like full of oil that
I know what you're talking about.
really burned.
We actually talked about this.
I think we did.
Tallow tree.
That's it. Chinese
Yeah.
tallow tree.
That,
Huh.
Yep.
really weird, yeah.
Yeah.
When
And
you
I-
were saying popcorn, I was thinking like popcorn.
Oh, well.
No, that makes sense.
I think that's the nickname for
Yeah.
them, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I think that's got a lot of just do not eat on the package before you. Kind of reminds me of, my wife gets all these soaps, it's like specialty soaps, and they always brand them like there's something to eat. It's like cream, something, something, something. And I always wanted to like write some review on the website and say, this tastes just like soap. Cause I don't know, it's, everything's like something to eat. I'm thinking, okay, you know, at least they'd have a warning on there or something saying, do not eat. Somebody at some point, you know, it's gotta have, but I'll bet this tastes good. So, anyway. All right, well, let's move over to, and let's talk to Bucky and Bobby about Heartland, fulfillment and your story and how you all got started with this and,
I thought I had background music.
yeah, intro music, there you go.
Well, Heartland really came about during the pandemic. We had 5 very large bridal stores. The smallest one, I think, was 12,000 square feet, 6 tuxedo retail stores, a tuxedo wholesale business, and everything was going great. And then we had this little thing called the pandemic.
Yes.
All events were canceled. And we were told that we had to close. The states that we were in, including Kentucky, we were told we had to close. So it's prom season in the plant. The last weekend of April is always just, we always just don't know if we're gonna make it. It's just, we're so busy that, you know, it's just, people are running everywhere. I walked through the plant. As you walk through, the lights come on. It was totally dark, and as I'm walking through, these lights are coming on. And I'm thinking, man, it's over. You know, this is it. This is just it. So Bucky and I started talking. You know, what are we good at? We ship tuxedos around the country. We are really good at shipping. We're close to UPS. One of our biggest assets was that warehouse. It's 105,000 square feet.
Wow.
So we had assets. We just had to figure out some way to make this work. And just a light bulb went off. And we thought, everybody in this industry is in exactly the same spot we're in. And we both have been in the industry for so long that we called some manufacturers. Hey, how would you feel if we started shipping for you? And man, it was easy. The first person that I called is a company called Mary J. It's a very old bridesmaid's house. Those girls said, that's a great idea. Their father had passed away. The 2 girls had been left with the business. They said, we've got a huge warehouse. It's not full. It's costing us $12,000 a month. Plus we've got 2 guys that are shipping. We can't do it. We're going to have to close. So they immediately shifted everything down to us. And we had never done anything like that before, but we presented ourselves like we knew exactly what we were doing. And you know, and we really did. We really did. We found a box company, a local box company that was making the sizes. Our son Kyle was instrumental in deciding exactly which sizes that we needed, printed tape. And so anyhow, we started shipping for Mary J. It was easy. Then somebody else called us. He's a famous person. He's on Say Yes to the Dress. His name is Randy Finoli. He wanted to see the facility. So, you know, he eventually figured out a way to come see us. And we started shipping for him. We thought, man, this is easy. This is the way to go. And then it got hard. Other manufacturers that we talk to in the industry, these are their babies. Nobody can do it like they can do it. What if this happens? What if this happens? And it was just a lot of obstacles. So we found that it takes us about 2 years to finally convince a company for us to start shipping for them. And one such company is Sydney's Closet.
Oh.
They're out of St. Louis. Their specialty is plus size prom and bridal gowns. They start at a 14 and go to a 40. And we had been talking to them for about 2 years. And the owner of the company, Matt LeBrack, called. He said, we all have COVID. Our warehouse staff has walked out. This was May of 21. Our warehouse staff has walked out. We're in trouble. When can you all come over and talk to us?
That was a Friday.
That was a Friday.
We were there on Saturday.
Yes. We started driving. So, and it was funny the way this happened. We were over there talking to them, and these girls from, they live in New York, the girls from Barry J, they called and they're talking to me on my phone. And one of the people in the office had just asked the question, what if you and Bucky are not in the building? Is this a problem? And Susan Parker, who owns the company, with her sister, Erica Rosenblatt, they're on the phone. So I said, this is a very impromptu phone call, but I'm going to put you on speaker and, Matt, if you will, ask the girls. And they were like, we never know when they're in the building, when they're not in the building, nothing ever misses a beat. They know exactly what they're doing. Not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. And they said, okay to us that day. And we've been shipping for them ever since. And now we ship for one company out of Poland. We ship for a company out of the Netherlands. I think everybody else is US based.
Yeah, everybody else is domestic.
Yes, domestic. We ship the largest Princessa company in the United States. It's a lingerie brand, and it's called Princessa. He flies everything into Louisville.
Wow.
Everything comes in, and every box, what does a box weigh? Over 100 pounds. And we get a tractor and trailer in from UPS of those dresses.
Wow.
So those dresses are Quinceañera dresses. And Quinceañera does not have a season because Quinceañera is based on the child's 15th birthday.
The Hispanic, little
Yeah,
Hispanic.
and it's, Bobby worked very hard on that account, and it is become a very integral part of us learning the fulfillment business. I mean, it has really taken us to the next level because of certain procedures and protocol they require that some of our other clients don't. So it's been great for us.
Well, they're fully barcoded.
Yeah, it's been the technology that we use for that client is different than the technologies we use for other clients. And it's, like we were talking in the beginning of the evening, we were forced to adapt and physically and mentally, if I will say so.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine, but.
Yeah, when we get a tractor and trailer in from UPS, they usually call upstairs. If we're upstairs, a lot of times we are in the warehouse, but they'll call upstairs. We just got a tractor and trailer. Yeah, okay, great, we're on our way.
We have tennis shoes and socks that
yeah.
live at our desk
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
at all times, just to convert.
Well, we had to
Wow.
learn their software too. They were insistent that we follow the exact same procedure that our warehouse in Kentucky followed, the same one that followed in New Jersey and also in Canada. And we were in the running with a Texas fulfillment center, and I think one in Utah, which I thought that was a weird place for a fulfillment center.
Yeah.
But we were in running and we did beat them out. So actually Kyle and I went up and learned the software. And we got a new client that just came into the building. I forgot about them. We've only shipped one time for them. They're from Canada. And they started talking to us about their software. And I said, I know that software. We use it for someone else. And he flew to Chicago and I don't know why, he just wanted to actually meet us.
Wow.
So he flew to Chicago, and Bucky and I and Kyle were there, and he came over and again he said, yeah, this is great. Plus the learning curve on teaching you our software is zero.
Yeah, wow.
In fact, when the invoices came through, one of the guys downstairs said, "Oh, this isn't the new company. This is the other company." No, it's just the same software. It looks the same. Let's not get them confused.
Right, right. Oh, well, just the fact that you can be flexible like that, I think is
We are,
so key.
every
for
person
customers.
is different.
Yeah.
Every single fulfillment customer is different. It's different personalities. They expect something different. You know, we know the quirks. We know this particular girl is in the office, the addresses are gonna be incorrect, which we can't do anything
Yeah,
about,
right.
but we know the next day we're gonna be calling a couple boxes back. So we kind of know their quirks, and we try to supersede some of the problems. And we do. Such as since the hurricane, we've been watching
Oh,
because they've been shipping some things to Asheville, and we don't want to ship to Asheville. Do you, we might call them,
yeah.
do you really want this to go to Asheville? Oh, no, no. And now we've got the affected places in Florida.
yeah, I was gonna say, North Carolina and Nashville have to be.
In Greenville, South Carolina, where
In
Bucky is
Augusta,
from,
Georgia,
in
yeah.
Augusta, Georgia.
So they'll.
So we know we're not to ship.
Supply chain nightmares. right
Oh.
now.
In, with what we ship, especially if it's a special order bridal or
Yeah.
a prom dress, there's only one.
Yeah.
It came from Asia. It took probably 90 days to get here, and this wearing is maybe coming up pretty quick. So if it's lost or if it's sitting in a UPS trailer somewhere,
There's no just sending another one.
there's usually there is not another one to send as a rule.
Well, I think that our core background, being in the fancy dress business for 40 plus years. Our industry is a very time sensitive industry. So if the event is tomorrow, 6 o'clock, the delivery coming first thing Monday morning or Tuesday means nothing.
Right.
So with that common denominator in our genealogy, if you will, has helped us understand the importance and really thinking through every shipment.
Yeah.
On the dimensional weight, is this the right way to ship it, or should we take this 75 pounds and put it in 2 different boxes instead of sending it in one big box, and so on and so forth. And the majority of what we do is in the textile arena, if you will, but we're storing empty glass bottles for a bourbon distillery. And so we're open and able to do anything. And then we're maximizing our square footage in certain ways. We have climate controlled areas and other areas that are not, so we know what's available.
Shipping glass bottles is gotta be a challenge.
Well, right now we're simply storing those.
Oh,
We did
well, that's
we did send a pallet out week before last.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To
And they're empty,
Lithuania.
so we're not
wow.
storing bourbon, but we're
Right, right,
storing,
right. Just
because that's a whole,
I almost think
that's a
just
whole nother
the
stratosphere.
empty glass bottles just have to be a challenge all by
Yeah,
themselves.
and they're very heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Glass likes to break.
It does.
So if you're doing that, I'd say, and it was kind of to your other point was, and I never thought about this about the bridal industry, but it's a tough thing to, okay, we have to get this on time. We can't lose it or it's game over. And
That's exactly how it is.
yeah, so it's almost like the, what do they call it? The,
Bridezilla.
no, I was gonna say the, oh shoot, who sang New York, New York?
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
Oh, my
rule.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, if I can make it there, I can make it in the.
Oh, wow.
So
Thinking
if
Mike Miller.
you can do bridal dresses, you could do almost anything else.
Well, this is one thing that is totally different about our fulfillment center than I think anybody else that's in fulfillment. All of our clients have our personal cell phones. Every one of them do. Because we are in the tuxedo business too, there's always someone in the building up until 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, we still have time to get things to UPS. Right now, we're shipping so much that UPS has provided us with a trailer. They bring us an empty trailer, we fill it during the day, and then they hook on and take it away. But if we miss that pickup,
Oh.
and usually
That's between 5 and 5:30, so
Right.
there's still a 30-45 minute window of opportunity to get another dress out, or
Yeah.
another, or a case of glass bottles, if you will.
or whatever has to go.
Yeah.
But they have our cell phone numbers, so it's not unusual to get a call at 5 minutes till 6. Hey, is there any way we can get one more package out? Of course, it's not a problem. And the answer is always, of course, not a problem. Sometimes it can be a little problem, but they don't need to know that.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
We often always do it.
I often use the metaphor, it's like we ship ice.
Yeah.
This ice is going to stay solid for X amount of hours, so it's gotta go.
It's gotta go and it's gotta get there on time, so.
And we ship worldwide. We shipped a dress today to Saudi Arabia.
Really?
Yes. We've shipped, I guess every continent. But it was just weird today with Saudi Arabia. And this one particular client, we shipped several dresses to Saudi Arabia for them. So I don't know how that's happening, but
And for someone who has personally had, wanting to pull the last vestiges of my hair out, over, supply chain issues this week that I had a customer, I mean, and I get it, there's issues out there and production issues, and sure, there's been hurricanes, and although the hurricanes weren't where they were making the stuff. But I won't go into that. But that all being said, I mean, you call somebody and it's like, okay, it will probably be a day. Okay, well, it's not a day, it's 2 days. Oh, no, it's not a day, it's 2 days, it's 3 days, and I have to call them back and pester them just to get an answer on something. Just, is it gonna be this month or is it gonna be January before I get
Right.
my product in? So this is a breath of fresh air to hear. I'm glad to see fulfillment and shipping and supply chains. Good supply chains are alive and well in the United States, and especially here in Kentucky. So
that's one thing that our folks out in St. Louis always, whenever they're talking to somebody about using us, they're so accessible.
Yeah.
I mean,
that-
they
that's
can
a
call
standout.
us on Saturday. They have called us on Saturday. Usually we can't do a whole lot to help you on Saturday or Sunday. But as the world changes, we probably will be able to.
And I mean, just being responsive. I mean, in this world right now today, you can stand out if you just show up.
Amen. Yeah.
That's true.
Speaking of Kentucky and our great Commonwealth, coming from a state, I love saying that.
Absolutely.
We love it when a client or a prospect flies into Louisville and we drive up to pick them up.
Oh,
And we kind of, instead of zooming down I-65, we take it easy so they can kind of ingest all the UPS planes.
mhm.
Coming in. Then as
Oh,
we-
there's another one.
Then as we get closer to Shepherdsville and going through Shepherdsville on the way to E-Town to see our facility, we haphazardly point out that all these millions of square feet of there's a reason these fulfillment centers are located here.
Yeah.
What's the percentage in 2 days regular shipment
82%
of the
of the
population?
population of the country we can reach in 1 to 2 days ground.
That's
Ground.
utterly amazing.
Ground, 82%.
Wow.
And we have fantastic relationships with UPS. We've got a great domestic rep. We have a great international rep. Just anything that happens, they'll bend over backwards. So
Wow.
we have had people, for some reason, we seem to have a problem with this one hub. I'm not going to say where it is in case anybody is on here listening to this, but this one hub, and it could be the driver, I don't know, But our rep has called that driver and said, this package is being, this address inside this package is being
It's a bag
worn
of ice.
tomorrow night. You have you have to deliver. Yes, yes,
Wow.
there is ice in there. It has to deliver. And she never lets us down.
Wow.
So we don't let our clients down.
Yeah.
And we like saying yes,
Mhm.
if at all possible. In fact, we were home a couple of weeks ago. And I saw an email that came through that said, this has to ship today. And it was about 6. So it was close. It was close. He zoomed back to work and we shipped. Our son is closer. We normally would have called him, but his in-laws were in town, so we didn't.
Well, that's fantastic. And I hear it's not just bridal dresses anymore. I mean, there's glass. What's the oddest out of the bridal verse type of shipment you've done so far?
Well, all of our clients right now. Well, that's not true. That is not true. You may not even know this. We have a client in England and she orders things through Amazon and sends them to us.
Oh.
And we save them until she has a package coming her way. So there's been some strange strange things in there, like she apparently was getting married.
We getting paid for that?
There were a couple of koozies. I guess she just wanted to see samples.
Oh, wow.
There's been makeup. It's I think there was a dog leash with a name like Pookie on it. I'm sure it's a dog. But it's been some weird things and she'll always say, just hide them in a dress. So we save her Amazon deliveries and send them inside a dress.
Smuggled in a dress.
Yes, we smuggle them inside the dress.
Oh, that is so
Piggyback is a better.
Yeah,
Piggyback.
yeah.
That's a much better
Yes.
word.
No,
Yes.
no smuggling.
No
Heartland
smuggling.
No
fulfills.
smuggling.
No.
One thing Bobby does say a lot, and I agree with her, and I use it some myself when we're talking to a prospect, is we try to drive home the point. Let us do what we know how to do, and let us do what we really have a passion to do. Well, we have a passion for the fancy dress business. That's why Bobby and our husband and wife, I mean, the industry brought us together.
Wow.
But let us do what we have worked on I mean, really the concept for Heartland was before COVID.
It was.
But then COVID catapulted that concept into, hey, we, our back's against the wall. We had to do something. So we did. But she says a lot, let us do what we do efficiently to save you money so you can do what you do efficiently.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And we ship so much that, our rates are so competitive that there's no way that a person individually, because we're shipping for a lot of different companies. So our rates are just unbelievable. Sometimes the client will even question, especially if it's an overnight. Oh, you didn't price this overnight. Yeah, that's overnight.
Yeah,
Overnight.
what we find.
And our boxes are a lot cheaper.
Yeah, what we have found is that we have saved clients money. Forget that their overhead personnel, i.e. rents,
Right.
but we've saved them money because our UPS rates are competitive, to say the least.
Yeah.
And we have a great source of corrugated. So our boxes and tapes. So it's a fun part of our business.
And plus, if
Our
the
whole
ware,
business is fun. I mean, it's like
That's
any
true.
other
Right,
business, owner,
right.
but it's a very fun part of our business.
well, if the warehouse walks out, it's your problem if you're sitting there. If our warehouse walks out, it's our problem and we won't miss a beat.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
So it's peace of mind too for the client.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I love the part of this where it's like, there's so many businesses at the beginning of COVID that said, oh man, game over. What do I do? It's, I mean, and a lot of places just shut down because they didn't know what else to do. But you all, what do you think kind of got you driving forward?
Money.
or
Money.
Let's go back to the very beginning of our conversation. We needed a leg.
Mhm.
We had to create our prosthetics.
Yeah, I love
Good,
that.
good metaphor.
I love that. That's fantastic.
And we had gone too far and worked too hard for everything just to literally come to a screeching halt. And it did for us, but it did for everyone
Right,
in the world.
Yeah.
yeah.
Everyone that you talk to talks about,
Sir,
during that time, we actually we're repping, or we're not repping, but we are US agents for 2 bridal houses. And one of my reps today was talking to me, and she mentioned COVID. And she said, I remember sitting on the sofa and just crying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose my house, I'm gonna lose everything that
Yeah.
we've worked for. But then there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
There always is.
Yeah, the pandemic will end. People will go back to work.
Yeah.
Life will go halfway back to normal. I don't think we've ever really gone back to the way it was before. And maybe we don't need to.
Right.
The industry had, the fancy dress industry, bridal and tuxedos had a huge bumper year in 21,
Mhm.
a recovery year.
Oh,
And so the whole industry, I'm not just speaking for Bobby and I, but the whole industry felt that, maybe this is the new normal. Well, it wasn't. It was an adjustment, and now it's come back, and now we're living like the rest of the economy, the new normal, post pandemic.
so, I love the fact that this is a pivot story.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what was your inspiration on the pivot? Was it like, well, we were kind of thinking about maybe trying this and now the perfect time is opened up for it, or?
Was it more of a, we have to? Sounds like the latter.
Yes, we again just kind of figured out, what are we good at?
Yeah.
What are we good at? Because what we did yesterday, we know what to do, but it's not going to work today.
Yeah.
Because you can have a group of no more than 10 people. You can't really have a big wedding. We were shipping tuxedos across the country.
Oh, yeah.
We were doing Zooms. We were doing Zooms in English. We were doing Zooms in Spanish.
Wow.
We were shipping dresses around the country. And I guess we were lucky. No one kept a dress that they shouldn't
Yeah,
have
we
kept,
were.
and they paid for
Bobby
what they
was
kept.
FaceTiming at 6 o'clock on Sunday mornings. I had a customer call.
Yes.
We're talking 2 o'clock in the morning about the tuxedos.
That is true. She was a nurse.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
she was a nurse, and she said, I think I found somebody that can help me. I said, however, I don't think that ever worked out, but.
Yes, she did too. She talked to you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was on her way to where we never turned our phones off. We answered
Yeah.
24/7. And it's all worked out.
That is something.
It's all worked out.
So what's next? What's the next big?
Unless that's an industry secret.
Yeah, maybe an industry secret. but
Well, we
what
just
do you-
want to
what do you think?
expand. We want to expand on the fulfillment end. We would like to branch out away from tuxedos and bridal, because we're ready. As Bucky mentioned, we have a climate controlled, I don't know how many square feet it is. I'm going to say maybe 15,000 square feet. That's all climate controlled. So, we're ready. Maybe we'll ship tater tots.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Hey,
Really good callbacks.
I'd rather ship the ketchup than the tater tot.
Wow, well, that is a fantastic business story. I mean, thank you guys so much for coming here and sharing that. Everybody give them a hand.
Oh, Lord,
Absolutely.
thank y'all for having.
Thank you all.
Yeah, that is something. So I
And
learned
y'all
a
are
lot.
all, we've invited Don, y'all are all, if you're ever in the Hardin County area, just give us a jingle and come by and say hello and we'll give you
Oh, I'm planning on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to tour this place.
Bobby.
We have a
acquired
tunnel. It's pretty neat.
The old Coca-Cola bottling plant.
Well, now you've really got me. Now you've got a tunnel.
We have a tunnel.
It's a neat facility.
We're the third owners of the building. It was built by the Schmidt family. And it was built specifically for the Coca-Cola bottling company. It's a very,
Makes sense with the climate control then.
yeah, it's a very distinct building. Maybe the most distinct building in Elizabethtown. But it was built for that. And then Coca-Cola left after many, many years. And they started bottling like Shastas and some of those type drinks there, but they were still a bottling facility. And it was bought by Tim Allback. And Tim has bought them all in Elizabethtown, and he's big time entrepreneur and great guy.
When you said Schmidt family, I thought of Schmidt Furniture. It's not the same.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
It is not. It's Bill Schmidt, Bill and Jan Schmidt, who lived in Elizabethtown.
Oh,
And they had two sons, Larry and Luke.
cool.
And Larry and Luke are still around.
Well, this was such a great story. If somebody is interested in engaging you all and they've got some product they need to ship and they need a good 3PL source, how do they find you?
Website is heartlandfulfillmentcenter.com. Best way is to call my cell phone.
I don't know if you
Or
want to
call
get
the
that out
office,
on YouTube.
or we can call the office. The
You
office
know.
number is 270-765-2269.
2269.
I don't give that out very often, do I?
All right, great. And the website again?
heartlandfulfillmentcenter.com.
heartlandfulfillmentcenter.com.
It's long.
All right, fantastic.
And you can message us on
Well, it's
the.
easy to remember though.
It is.
So, well, thank you all again.
Thank you for having us.
Wonderful. We really, I'm excited at what you're doing. Just, compared to other places, that we deal with around the country, you guys are down the street for us. So this
Oh,
is,
yeah.
right here in Kentucky. So, but you obviously service people all over. So. that's
All over the world.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, wonderful. Well, let's see. I'm going to wrap up here. So any parting thoughts from anybody?
I think it's amazing that you guys pivoted into fulfillment from being into tuxedos and wedding dresses. That's quite a feat, and kudos. Kudos.
Thank
That's
you.
Really cool.
Thank you.
And David, if somebody has a 3D printing need or all the other amazing things you do,
Yeah.
how do they find you?
So Dabu at dabudesigns.com, or just go to dabudesigns.com.
Dabudesigns.com.
Yep.
And I said that.
DABOO.
DABOO, and I said it right.
Yep.
All right, fantastic. Leo, you got anything?
Nope, I'm just adding stuff in the chat.
All right.
Other than that, it's a great story, guys, though. Hope everybody has a super great weekend.
You do, man.
All right. Well, let's see. Watch for news and announcements coming up via email. If you are not signed up for email, if you're not getting it from us, check your junk folder, or reach out to us at info@kyinventors.org, or social media, KY Inventors, just about anywhere. Of course, on YouTube, we're Empowered Inventing TV. Inventor Friday, November 8th, different day. We're going to have a super group mixer. So for those of you who know what that is, you will definitely want to be here for that. And if you don't, you need to find out about it. So watch that inbox again. Our next open meeting is going to be on November the 12th. Stay tuned. We've got some interesting stuff coming up on that as well. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for joining us on a Friday night and on Inventor Friday. And we will see you at the next meeting, workshop, or online something that we do. Good night, everybody.
Everyone.
Night.